Okay, it looks like we've picked up a few more people, so thank you everyone for being here. My name is Beth Watts, and I'm the Transfer Transition Advisor here in the Office of Transfer Services. And I also have with me today Kimberly Morton, who is our Associate Director here in the Office of Transfer Services. Very glad that you people could be here with us today, and so excited that you will be coming to Appalachian in the very near future. So let's go ahead and get started with this presentation. See if we can answer everyone's questions. So first thing, a little bit about Zoom. Zoom is the webinar platform that we use here on campus. We use this quite often whenever we're trying to reach out to other students or other campuses, colleagues, things of that nature. And as a student here at Appalachian, you will have the option of downloading Zoom and being able to use it for your own personal use. So if it's a very, very snowy day and you do not want to go to a meeting, you can use Zoom to make that meeting happen. Okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the transfer credit evaluation. Now, hopefully everyone has had an opportunity to see their transfer credit evaluation. And if not, we'll talk a little bit about how to access that. So when you look at your evaluation, some things to remember. When we evaluate your transcripts, we only accept courses that you have achieved a grade of C or better in. We do not accept any courses that are below a C, so a C- is not accepted. We do not accept any technical courses or developmental or institutional credit by exam. Whenever you are looking at your credit evaluation, if you have noticed that maybe it says some grades of TP, that indicates that you have coursework in progress. We've probably received a transcript or you have notified us of the coursework that you are currently taking, and so we have indicated that on your evaluation as in progress. That allows us to know what you're doing as advisors, and also you to kind of have an idea, especially as you go through the registration process. One thing to remember is that whenever you are done with this semester, and your coursework is complete, or maybe if you're finishing coursework in the summer, it is very, very advantageous to you to send us official transcripts as soon as possible so that we can keep all of your degree audit up to date. So if you are getting an associate's degree from even an out-of-state or in-state community college, make sure that that degree is posted on your transcript whenever you submit that transcript. So a good word of thumb is to make sure that you notify your community college that you need that degree posted before they send the transcripts, because sometimes they'll send it a little bit soon. Okay. When you're reviewing your transfer credit evaluation, you can do that through your My Mountaineer portal. Hopefully you've been able to look at that via your DegreeWorks. And looking at that, one thing also to remember is that as transfer students, you do not take first year seminar. So if you are coming to us with 30 hours or more of credit, then you do not have to take first year seminar, and you will see that notated as UCO Met on the evaluation. So you do not have to take that class if you're coming to us with 30 or more transfer hours. Math credit, we get a lot of questions about the math credit. Appalachian's general education requires that you take 4 hours of quantitative literacy. Some courses do not transfer for that total 4 hours, so students are required to maybe take a 1-hour math class that we offer just for that reason, or they're maybe going to be taking another class in their major that will fulfill that coursework. But if you are coming to us with any sort of math credit, then you will see GEP-MAT on your credit evaluation. Whenever you work with your advisor, you can also work with them to see exactly how you need to fill that 1-hour credit if you need to. Keep in mind, if you are coming to us with an associate's degree in arts or science from a North Carolina community college, if you have only taken Math 143 but the degree has been awarded, then we will accept it as a whole and you will not have to make up that math credit. So if you have any questions about that, please let us know. Again, if you are transferring with any math credit, you are not required to take the math placement test. However, if you need to take calculus and do not have the prereq for calculus, then you do have to take the calculus readiness test. And you can find all that information about placement testing at testing.appstate.edu. Test scores, we do accept AP, IB, CLEP, A, and AS level exams. If you have taken any of these courses and you would like to submit those scores to us, you can look at what scores we will take by looking at testing.appstate.edu. Or 2, you can look at the College Board and go ahead and submit those scores to us, and then we can upload them for you. And then if you have any questions, we'll answer those for you. Military credit, do we have anyone with us today that's in military? Okay, well, maybe not, but let me go ahead and just let you know a little bit about what happens with our military students. Those coming to us with military service need to submit the DD-214 long form or the Joint Services form. so that we can go ahead and indicate if you get any of the MSL 1101 for students meeting the wellness literacy requirement. If students need the remaining 6 hours, then we will work with them to get that evaluated and posted to their degree audit. Whenever we are looking at the joint services transcript, it will be evaluated on a course-by-course basis. We do have a veteran student coordinator here on campus. He works in our Veteran Center. His name is Eric Wormley. So any students who are looking to learn more about the veteran services here on campus can contact him at gormleyea@appstate.edu. Okay, so meeting general education requirements here at Appalachian, this is one we get a lot of questions about. So there's a couple different ways you can meet gen ed requirements. One is, again, if you're coming from a North Carolina community college and you have completed an AA or an AS degree, an Associate in Arts or Associate in Science degree with grades of C or better, then that's going to meet all of our general education requirements. Now, in looking at your degree audit, maybe you've looked at DegreeWorks and that's not showing just yet, but maybe we haven't been notified. So we'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like. If you were coming to us with an applied science degree or an associate in fine arts, those do not meet our general education requirements. So keep that in mind. They do not meet those requirements. And again, official transcripts must be sent for any of this coursework to be evaluated and posted to your degree audit. If you are completing an AA or AS, but maybe you aren't quite there yet whenever you're there for transfer, ready for transfer, we do have a few programs. One is the Gen Ed Exchange program, which is offered here in-house at App State. It's one that I run, and you can contact me with some questions on that one. It's if you have 11 hours or less to complete the AA or AS. If you have 11 hours or more, then you can opt into the reverse transfer program. This is a state program that allows you to submit your transcripts electronically between institutions. And again, if you have any questions about either one of these, please refer to our website, transfer.appstate.edu, or you can call the office and we can offer that information also. So again, meeting general education requirements. If you are coming to us from an out-of-state community college and you have completed an Associate in Arts or Associate in Science, there is a chance that it will meet our gen ed requirements. It must be reviewed by the General Education Office, and you can contact Kristen Howell at howellkm@appstate.edu to request a review. If you are coming to us from a University of North Carolina system school and you have completed gen ed, again with grades of C or better at that school, then that may be able to transfer to meet all of our gen ed. Appalachian is the only school in the state that offers that reciprocity. Otherwise, you will be looking at individual credit. We will be evaluating and applying your credit individually as it relates to gen ed and your major. So advising and degree work. So I want to stop here before we go any farther and see if there's any questions. You can either use the chat, there is a chat function, or you can unmute yourself and ask any questions that you may have. But I would like to give you just a minute to see if there's anyone else that has any questions. Okay. I'm going to take that as a no. So we are, well, actually, I see there's a few chats coming through. This looks like Brett says, when will I be able to transfer credit and degree, DegreeWorks? We'll talk about DegreeWorks here in just a second. And how does Associate of Fine Arts degree not meet the criteria? Well, John, Associate in Fine Arts is a degree that has very specific coursework in it, and it doesn't have a whole lot of general education coursework. A lot of AFAs do not require science. They may not even require the correct math. So it just doesn't have as much diversity with regard to the coursework as an AA or an AS would. So in looking at the AFA, we will have to look at it as a course-by-course basis and see what else the student needs to fulfill. Does that help? Thank you. Okay. So Brett, we're going to get to your question, so hold tight. We're going to move on and we're going to talk a little bit more about DegreeWorks. Okay, let's look at Grace real quick. I have an AA and DegreeWorks says I have not met the foreign language requirement. Well, if you were doing a BA, then you are required to have a foreign language. So it depends. So it kind of depends on what your degree looks like as to how that foreign language requirement. Your gen ed or your AA would not necessarily fulfill foreign language requirements unless you have taken maybe 2 classes of foreign language, then that would help. But if you're getting a BA degree, then that requires foreign language and it requires a few semesters past what you might get at the community college. Does that answer your question? I'm going to give you just a minute to see if you have another question about that. Or are you good, Grace? Okay. I took Spanish 1 and 2 at community college. Okay, well, and that's great. And Spanish 1 and 2 will transfer as long as you made a C or better, but it does not fill Gen Ed requirements as far as for our Gen Ed curriculum. Now, if you've taken an AA, yes, if you've had an AA, your AA will meet all Gen Ed requirements. If you were doing a BA, a BS degree, then you will need more foreign language for the BA degree requirements. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, yes, so those will be at the intermediate level. Okay, all right, let's move on. Okay. So DegreeWorks. So DegreeWorks is how we know what you're doing as a student and how you keep up with what you're doing as a student. And it is real time based on the information that we have. So what you're looking at in your DegreeWorks audit currently is based on the information that you have provided us at the time of application. Again, it's not going to be as up to date as maybe the day that you start here at Appalachian, your first day of classes, but that's because we haven't received your final transcripts letting us know that you have finished all that coursework that you said was in progress. So keep that in mind. It is going to be as up to date as we can get it, but it's just up to this point. So let's look a little bit at DegreeWorks and what that looks like. So a few things to consider whenever you're looking at your DegreeWorks page. The first thing is your student ID, this 900 number. It's going to be your identification number across the board. So keep that in mind. Know it like you know your social security number. Put it in your phone because it is how we will identify you here at Appalachian. The next thing is going to obviously your name. That should be correct. And then your degree or major. Hopefully that is correct. If that is not correct, then we need to get that corrected. It's very important that your major is up to date in DegreeWorks so that everything that you're seeing is up to date. The next thing to consider is the class history tab. That's going to give you just a general overview of your credit evaluation. Going down a little bit farther, you may see your student name, your ID, your class. Now this may not be exactly up to date because again, if you're completing coursework for an AA degree, you may be looking at being a sophomore with 45 hours right now, working to becoming a junior with 60 hours. As of right now, you probably do not have an advisor listed because your advisor has not been set, but at orientation, you will have an advisor, so do not fear there. Your cumulative GPA should be a 0.0 currently because keep in mind that your credits transfer, but again, your grades do not transfer. So right now that's a 0.0 and you can either look at it as your job to keep that or your job to get a 4.0. Hopefully it's to get a 4.0. Your next level should be undergraduate because all of you are undergraduate students. And again, your major, criminal justice, if that's what it is, it's what you told us at the point of application. And your minor, you probably do not have a minor there just yet because you haven't officially declared. The next thing to consider is your cumulative earned hours. Now, these are the hours that you have completed. Again, this may be a little bit less than what it should be by the time that you enter here and start classes, but it's what we have as of right now. Any questions about that? Keep going a little bit farther. All right, so again, whenever you use that class history tab, this is kind of what you're going to be looking at. It's going to tell you exactly how everything has transferred in just a very brief list. The next thing is probably everyone is still showing the DegreeWorks General Education section. Now again, if you know you're going to be completing an AA or an AS, or maybe you've already worked with our Gen Ed department to see about getting your general education med another way, you know that this will not be applicable to you, so that's something to consider. The thing also to know is that whenever you go through early registration advising, they want you to know a little bit about Gen Ed. So things to consider are you do still have to take the first and second year writing. There is a quantitative literacy requirement of 4 hours, wellness literacy of 2 hours. You also have 4 designations that you have to meet within your coursework for the integrative learning experience and the liberal studies experience. And then you also have 8 hours of science inquiry, which means that you're going to have 2 classes, 4 hours each, lecture and lab. Underneath the DegreeWorks section is the major coursework section, and this is going to be a little bit more specific. However, it does not tell you a lot about prerequisites. So at this point is whenever you're going to want to look at maybe pulling the program of study, and DegreeWorks doesn't necessarily link you to that, but we can tell you how to link that to your to your ERA account. So that's going to be programsofstudy.appstate.edu. That's something that you're going to want to pull as you're looking at this and seeing exactly what courses you need to take in what order. After that, you may be seeing fall through courses, and these are courses that we don't have anywhere to put for your major or for gen ed. So there may be credits that have transferred, but we just don't have anywhere to put them in your degree plan, but they are included in your earned hours. You may also see some courses in here that say maybe RC elected. If you're coming from an out-of-state school and you took an English 2 class somewhere and it's coming in as an RC elective, then you're going to want to go through the petition process. And the petition process allows you to ask the department to look at the course syllabus to see if equivalent credit can be awarded. General education petitions do go through Kristen Howell in our general education department. If you are looking for equivalent credit, that actually comes through our office. You can download the transfer credit petition form off of our website and then send that to us with the syllabus. We will send that to the department so that we can track it and make sure that it is getting back to you in a timely manner. And then you are notified by your Appalachian email whether or not that is approved. If you have any questions about the petition process or maybe what courses you need to petition for, our office can assist with that. The next thing that's coming up is early registration advising, and this is actually opening up May 1st at 8 a.m. ERA is an online course that you go through with a very fine-tooth comb. You need to watch all of the videos, read it word for word. I actually reviewed it this morning, and it's very, very informative. It allows you to understand the curriculum and how to register for classes. It tells you about pulling those programs of study, gives you more information on reading your degree works. It allows you more productive time with your advisor at orientation. You can find that at appstateera.org. Whenever we're talking about your major, we want to make sure that that major is correct. So if you have any changes that need to happen to that major, you need to email era@appstate.edu. Again, major changes need to go to era@appstate.edu. So registration will happen. It actually opens May 1st at noon. So you can get into ERA May 1st at 8 o'clock. And then as soon as you get through ERA, there will be a quiz at the end. And then once you pass the quiz, you get a PIN number for registration. At noon, you can go in and start registering yourself. And again, ERA will explain the registration system. But some words to remember are preparation, know which classes you want. You can go ahead and start looking at the classes that are offered. You can do that through your AppleNet account. You can't register for classes, but you can look at the course scheduling. Make sure that you have a list of alternate classes, because keep in mind things are opening and closing. They're getting full as we go throughout the semester. Be persistent and keep trying. Classes do change. We have a whole committee of class seats management that will sit and make sure that we have enough courses and enough seats for all of our students. And also, the departments know that we have students that will be coming in after native students, and so they do work with the students to help them get the courses they need. And then patience. There will be assistance provided at orientation. So accessing the registration system via AppleNet, just real quickly, you'll log on to your AppleNet account. You'll select the self-service tab and then the student tab, and then you'll click registration. From there, you'll be able to search for classes, add, drop, and view your current schedule. You can go ahead and go through this system if you would like to, even though registration is not open, just so you can start creating those schedules. So registration questions, if you have any questions after you complete ERA and receive your PIN, then you can go to advising.appstate.edu, or you can also call our advising office at 828-262-2167, and there is an advisor on call Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, to assist you with any questions that you may have. A little bit about what to expect at orientation. Again, one of the reasons that we need for your major to be correct is because once you come in and do the welcoming session, then you will be split up into groups based on your major. So if your major is not correct, not only will your degree works not be correct, but also you will be in the wrong group receiving the wrong information. You will have an advisor meeting that will go over everything with you. You'll have some departmental meetings, and there will also be some mini workshops. We really encourage you to go to the mini workshops, especially in the afternoon when you're waiting for your one-on-one advisor meeting, because this is going to offer you great transfer information to help you acclimate to campus, make sure that you know the resources and the services that we provide, and just help you matriculate a little bit easier than maybe not going to those sessions. Okay, now we have had a few Facebook Live sessions at App State Transfer, so if you are not part of our Facebook group, go ahead and get on there. We had one about on-campus housing, off-campus housing, financial aid, involvement. And then we've got one more coming up on the 26th for jobs in Boone. So if you have any questions about any of those services, make sure you go back and look at the Facebook page or join us on the 26th to learn more about how to get a job in Boone. Okay. All right, so what questions does everyone have? You can either unmute yourself or again, you can use the chat, whatever you find to be most convenient. Okay, give it just a few minutes to see what questions pop up. Grace, I'm coming to TPOP. Will I be able to register then? Yes, you will, Grace. You'll get an email about that later on this week that gives you more information about that. So absolutely, that will not be. And then Brett, back to your question, when should I see transfer credits appear in DegreeWorks? Well, hopefully soon. Have you already been admitted, Brett? Yes. Are you a first-year student or are you a transfer student? Transfer student. Okay, Brett, so we may have to look into yours and see exactly what's going on with that. So I think Kim's going to look at that right now. So hold tight and we'll see if we can figure that out. If you just got admitted maybe in the last few days, it does take our evaluators a few days to get your credit evaluation updated. So that might be a little bit of it. And you're also Marine Service. Did you send us the DD-214? Not yet. Okay. So we need the DD-214 in order to get you that wellness literacy requirement and any other credit that we can give you. So if you can get that to us, that would be beneficial. You can send it to ots@appstate.edu, or you can send it to our physical address, which is ASU Box 32166, Boone, North Carolina 28608. Okay, let me go back up here. There were a few other questions. Is a copy sufficient? Yes, Brett, a copy is sufficient. Okay, let me go up here because I see that I had from John, can you go over ERA again, process for registering for classes? So ERA will give all the information needed to register for classes. It is, again, it's an online module that you will go through with a fine-tooth comb. Make sure that you're reading it word for word and watching all of the videos. It'll take you about 45 minutes if you really take your time. So if you can go through that as much, and you can watch it as many times as you would like, then that will give you all the information to register for classes. Again, you will do the first round of registering by yourself, so the ERA should tell you how to do that. And then if you have any questions after that, then you can either email era@appstate.edu or you can call advising at 828-262-2167. All right, let me keep going. Alexander, can I take the ER quiz before May 1st, or does that happen on the day that I register? So Alexander, ERA will open May 1st at 8 a.m. to give students a chance to look at it, view it, take the quiz, and then registration will open up May 1st at noon. So once you get through ERA that morning, then you'll be able to register that afternoon starting at noon. Unless you're coming to TPOP. If you're coming to TPOP, then you're going to get to register a little bit sooner. Okay, wonderful, good. All right, what other questions can we answer? And keep in mind, we have recorded this webinar, so if you have any questions after the fact, we are going to be posting it on our website, so transfer.appstate.edu. So if you have any questions, then let us know. John, what is TPOP? TPOP is called Transfer Pre-Orientation Programming. It's 3 days where we bring newly admitted transfer students onto campus, and it's kind of like a pre-orientation day. It allows you to learn a little bit more about campus, on-campus, off-campus housing, jobs in Boone, things of that nature, financial aid. And then in the afternoon, you do get the opportunity to register a little bit sooner. So Kim Morton is going to post the link for that. We do still have some available spots on our Monday, right? On our Monday.
23rd and the 30th, both are still open.
On the 23rd and the 30th of April, both those days still have space open. So if anyone's interested in registering, Kim's going to post the link here in the chat. You can also find that information at orientation.appstate.edu under transfer students. So any information like that you can find there. So if you're interested, we would love to have you. It's a great opportunity to go ahead and learn more about campus and, get to know all of us. What other questions can we answer? Give y'all just a few more minutes if anybody's typing. So Brett, so the email to send the DD-214 is OTS, so Office of Transfer Services. Kim's going to send that to you, ots@appstate.edu. And then if you need to reach us, then you can give us a call again at 828-262-7877. And we'd be happy to help you in any way that we can. Any other questions for everyone? Okay. Well, if there are no other questions, then we're going to sign off for now. And again, if you do find that you have questions after the fact, then let us know, reach out, and we'll be happy to help you. Otherwise, we'll look forward to seeing some of you at TPOP and the rest of you at orientation. So thanks so much for joining us and have a great day.